Okay, let's just dive right into this. We are literally watching an unprecedented civil war unfold in real time right now, and it's one that has the very real potential to fundamentally alter the biggest sporting event on planet Earth. We're talking about the FIFA World Cup and a staggering $20 billion private equity standoff that has completely fractured the global football community.
Now, to really grasp the stakes of this explainer, we've got to start by asking a question that, honestly, used to be completely unthinkable. What happens if the European powerhouses actually walk away? Because right now, that is exactly what they are threatening to do.
And that immediate threat is very, very real. UEFA's 55 member nations have unanimously voted to boycott all FIFA events if this controversial new private equity plan goes through. We are talking about a World Cup completely stripped of teams like Spain, the reigning men's and women's champions, 2018 winners France, and 2026 semifinalists England. Imagine that. Without them, the tournament's commercial and sporting value absolutely plummets.
So here's how we're going to untangle this whole web today. We're looking at 1. The World Cup boycott threat. 2. FIFA's $20 billion pitch. 3. The global football backlash. 4. The politics and the fans. And finally, 5. Who blinks first?
All right, jumping into Section 1, the World Cup boycott threat. Let's see exactly how this high-stakes standoff kicked off.
So UEFA dropped an absolute bombshell following an emergency online meeting, drawing a really hard, uncompromising line in the sand. They explicitly stated that the World Cup cannot be treated as an investment product, declaring, and I quote, "The World Cup is not for sale." They framed FIFA's whole proposal as a total abdication of its duty as the custodian of world football.
But here's the thing, the resistance isn't just happening in Europe. This is truly global. From North America to Asia, multiple global governing bodies have forcefully condemned how quickly and secretly this plan was rolled out. CONCACAF, representing North and Central America, unanimously rejected the proposal. The Asian Football Confederation expressed massive disappointment over being left in the dark. And even the Global Players Union, FIFPro, and European Union officials are stepping in to support the boycott. The entire globe is pushing back here.
Moving on to Section 2. FIFA's $20 billion pitch. So what exactly is this massive proposal that has united so many rival federations in pure anger?
Well, FIFA President Gianni Infantino pitched the creation of a semi-private subsidiary called FIFA Forward Enterprise, or FFE. This plan effectively spins off the commercial, licensing, and tournament operations of FIFA into a brand new entity. Under this new structure, FIFA would retain majority control, they'd hand a 20% stake to member nations, and, crucially, they'd sell off a 20 to 30% slice to private investors.
And you really have to pause and look at the sheer scale of this. $20 billion. That is the astronomical valuation FIFA has placed on this new subsidiary. It's a number so large it literally has the power to reshape the entire global sporting landscape.
Now, to actually generate that immediate capital, FIFA is planning to raise up to $4.2 billion right out of the gate by selling that minority stake to outside investors. We're talking about an enormous immediate influx of cash into the sport.
And here is the financial bait that has everyone talking. If this proposal is approved, every single one of FIFA's 211 member associations has been promised an immediate one-off payment of $20 million in early 2027. Think about that. For smaller nations, that kind of money is absolutely life-changing for their domestic football programs. And frankly, it's exactly how global votes are won.
Which brings us to Section 3, the global football backlash. Let's look at how this staggering financial promise has triggered a really bitter battle between the sport's two most powerful men.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino is, of course, vigorously defending his pitch. He insists that he is, quote, democratizing football funding. In his words, it's a golden opportunity to turbocharge the development of the game, giving every single association a chance to shape its own future without just having to rely on the historical dominance of Europe.
But on the flip side, UEFA President Alexander Ceferin is directly countering that narrative. He characterizes the move as an irreversible capture of the sport's greatest competitions by private equity. UEFA is calling this governance by intimidation, effectively accusing FIFA of dangling a massive paycheck to coerce smaller nations into basically selling out the soul of the game.
When you actually look at the raw projections side by side, that massive financial carrot is undeniable. The current model offers about $36 million in projected funding per member by 2038, but the new FFE model, $86 million. You can clearly see exactly why FIFA is confident they can secure the votes of smaller member nations who just desperately need this infrastructure funding.
All right, Section 4, the politics and the fans. We need to step out of the boardrooms of Zurich for a minute and look at the powerful ties driving this deal and the highly cynical reaction from the fans themselves. This whole deal is heavily entwined with major Wall Street players and some very prominent political figures. JP Morgan Chase has been brought in to package the rights. On top of that, Jared Kushner's new venture capital firm, Thrive Eternal, is expected to be a cornerstone backer. Because of these connections, U.S. Representative Jamie Raskin is now actively demanding documents regarding any dealings between FIFA and Donald Trump, especially noting that Infantino recently awarded Trump a, believe it or not, FIFA Peace Prize. So, yeah, this situation has definitely triggered direct scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers. But if you step back and look at what fans are actually saying on platforms like Reddit, they really don't see a good guy in this fight at all. Fans widely view both FIFA and UEFA as historically corrupt entities. For them, this isn't some grand battle of morals. It's simply two massive governing bodies fighting tooth and nail over a highly lucrative cash cow.
In fact, fans have thrown around this perfect phrase to describe the dynamic: an elective kleptocracy. Many supporters believe this entire standoff isn't about protecting the legacy of the game at all. Instead, they just see a power struggle where officials secure their leadership roles by redistributing massive cash reserves to buy the necessary votes from smaller federations.
And critics are super quick to point out a pretty rich irony in FIFA's own strict governance documents. The regulations demand intense independence and strict conflict of interest rules for its compliance bodies. So fans see a really stark contrast between these written ethical guidelines on paper and the highly centralized, heavily monetized power structures currently battling for total control of the sport's $20 billion future.
Which leads us right into our final part, Section 5, Who Blinks First? Let's talk about the ticking clock and how this builds toward an inevitable collision.
This fracture between Europe and FIFA is so incredibly severe right now that UEFA is reportedly scouting challengers to try and oust Infantino entirely from his presidency. They're heavily linked to supporting Nasser Al-Khelaifi, the Qatari sports executive and owner of Paris Saint-Germain, as a potential replacement to basically kill this private equity deal.
And guys, the timeline for all of this is terrifyingly tight. Major tournaments like the Under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland are kicking off right as these deadlines hit. The absolute deadline for members to vote on this massive FFE proposal is September 19th. By November, nominations close for the FIFA presidency, and that leads straight into the massive election showdown in March 2027. We are literally months, if not weeks, away from a decision that is going to lock in the future of the sport.
So, as we watch this unprecedented, multi-billion-dollar game of chicken unfold across the globe, it leaves us with one unavoidable question to ponder. Who truly owns the beautiful game? Is it the fans, whose passion built it over generations? Or is it the institutions that now have the power to sell it for $20 billion?